My name's Ruth and I'm back to read you some more bedtime stories, especially for back to ours. I hope you enjoy them and I hope they make you feel nice and sleepy and ready to have a good night's snoozy sleep. This first one is one of my favourites. It's called Mr. Big and it's by Ed Vere, and I used to read this to my little boy Sonny. He's not little anymore, but I'll enjoy reading it to you. So it's called Mr. Big. Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine. He goes by the name of Big, Mr. Big. Now, Mr. Big had a problem compared to everyone else. He was extremely big. There he is, you can see. He was so big that anywhere he went, all everyone saw was someone big and scary. No one stuck around to find out who he really was, so inside, Mr. Big felt very, very small. And that's how it always was. When Mr. Big went to the cafe, everyone had other things to do. When Mr. Big got on the bus, everyone else got off. Oh. And when he went to the pool, well, let's just say everyone needed to be somewhere else. No one ever saw the real Mr. Big. One day, Mr. Big noticed a piano in a shop window. It looked all alone, just like him. So he bought it and took it home. There he is, carrying the piano up the stairs, but it was heavy. As Mr. Big sat alone at the piano, he thought of all the things that made him sad. And then he played. There he is playing. His music drifted out through the open window and into the evening sky. It drifted across the rooftops over to his neighbours, and they wondered who was playing such beautiful music. There's someone leaning out the window and they're saying, "Hey man, that cat can play." The word spread, and night after night everyone came from all over town, and still no one knew who was playing. It was a big mystery. But inside, Mr. Big was still alone. And then one morning, Mr. Big received his first ever letter. It was an invitation and it said, "Dear mystery pianist, thank you for your beautiful music. Everyone's been listening to you for weeks and we're all wondering one thing. Who are you? We'd love to meet you. Me and a couple of the guys are playing tonight at the Blue Note. Please come and join our band. See you later. A friend." That night, Mr. Big joined the band. All night long the joint was jumping and nobody wanted to leave. At last, everyone could see the real Mr. Big. There he is, playing in the band. Everyone's listening and they're saying, "Hot man," and "Yeah baby, jazz," and "Yeah, cool," and "He's cooking, Daddy-O," and "Let's hear it for Mr. Big." Oh. Now that the big band has hit the big time and everyone wants to meet them, Mr. Big has a new problem. He doesn't get much time to be alone, and that's just the way he likes it. And there he is in his dressing room with all his fans, and they are saying, "Please, can you sign my book, Mr. Big? Groovy baby, I'm your biggest fan. Like, is it really you? And wow, can I have your autograph, please?" There they are, all his new fans. The end. I hope you enjoyed that. I love that story. So the next story is called The Selfish Crocodile. And I used to read this one to my little daughter Josie, but she's not little either anymore, so I will enjoy reading it to you instead. Okay. Deep in the forest, in the river, lived a large crocodile. He was a very selfish crocodile. He didn't want any other creature to drink or bathe in the river. He thought it was his river. Every day he shouted to the creatures of the forest, "Stay away from my river, it's my river. If you come in my river, I'll eat you all." So there were no fish, no tadpoles, no frogs, no crabs, no crayfish in the river. All were afraid of the selfish crocodile. The forest creatures kept away from the river as well. Whenever they were thirsty, they went for miles to drink in other rivers and streams. Every day, the crocodile lay on his great big back in the sun, picking his big, sharp teeth with a stick. There he is. Can you see him? But early one morning, the forest was awakened by a loud groaning sound. Something was in terrible pain. The creatures thought that it was an animal caught by the crocodile. But as the sun came out brightly, they saw that it was the crocodile who was in pain. He was lying on his big back, holding his swollen jaw, and he was crying real tears. The creatures drew closer, but not too close. Some of the creatures felt sorry for the crocodile. "What's the matter with him?" asked a deer. "I don't know," said a squirrel. "Maybe he's going to die," chirped a bird. "If that happens, it'll be safe to go in the river," grunted a wild pig. The animals thought about this. They hung from the branches. They hung from vines. They buzzed in the air, and they shook their heads as they watched the great big crocodile in pain. No animal tried to help. Suddenly, a little mouse appeared, sniffing the air. He ran along the crocodile's tail, then onto his tummy. The other creatures stared. "Look at that mouse," chattered a monkey. "He's either very brave or mad." "He's going to be eaten for sure," said an iguana. The mouse crept along the crocodile's big neck and into his open mouth. There was a hush in the forest. The mouse got hold of something and pulled and pulled and pulled. Then he put it on his shoulder and walked out of the crocodile's mouth. There was a loud cheer from the astonished creatures. The crocodile sat up and said, "I don't feel any more pain. It's all gone." Then he saw the mouse walking down his tummy, carrying an enormous crocodile tooth on his shoulder. There he is. There's a little mouse carrying the crocodile tooth. "Your bad tooth was giving you the toothache," answered the mouse, turning around to face the now smiling crocodile. "Do you want it back?" "No, no, 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 get rid of it, and when you've done that, come back. I'll have a present for you." The mouse went and buried the bad tooth under a tree, and when he returned, the crocodile had a nice juicy nut waiting for him. As the crocodile watched the mouse eating the nut, he said to him, "You were very clever getting rid of my toothache, and kind too. I am so grateful. But what shall I do if my toothache comes back?" "Don't worry, I'll help you take care of your teeth," answered the mouse, nibbling. Soon the crocodile and the mouse were the best of friends. And one day, the crocodile sent all the animals an invitation. "Please come to drink and bathe in the river. I won't hurt you. The river belongs to us all," he said. The creatures weren't afraid to drink and bathe in the river anymore. Although the crocodile was sometimes snappy, they grew to love him. And soon the river was full of fish and tadpoles and crabs and crayfish. The end. Aw, that's a lovely story all about friendship. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're feeling nice and sleepy, and maybe you're having a little yawn and you're snuggled up with a blanket and ready to go to sleep very, very soon. So I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.